we're now only talking about My Hero Macadamia Nut. Any My Hero questions? I guess only Denki questions before the others get here. Only Denki questions, yes.
What's your favorite Denki moment?
When he pumps up Jiro. It's season 4, when they're doing the festival, and she's all nervous. And he says, but you can play so many instruments. You're freaking awesome. And it like solidified the Denki Jiro ship.
How do you feel about that now we know that My Hero's ending on August 5th?
Is it ending on August 5th?
Oh yeah, they say the last chapter of the manga.
I feel bad. No, I mean, obviously it's bittersweet. Obviously, I'd want it to keep going. It would be worse if they just kind of like, think of stuff to keep it going. That would be awful. So for it to end naturally, like, that's great. That's fine. You know, it's just like people will call for more ass class. Anyone know Assassination Classroom? It's like, that's like one of the most beautiful endings to any anime ever. And people are like, oh, when are we going to get season 3? It's like, no, what? No more. Just watch it over again. So same thing. It's like like maybe we'll get some spinoffs like the Vigilantes, like that'd be cool. Or if like he were to then do a separate series like later in life, seeing them as heroes or whatever, that would be cool. But like as far as like My Hero Academia, the show, like I think it's great for it to have a start and finish as intended. Cool. Like I think that's the way to do it. Yeah.
Hey, and Kyle, you know, looking at your career, you're all, during COVID specifically, you were able to kind of pivot and actually, kind of build your own channel on Twitch and your excitement around that. Talk a little bit about that and how that came to be.
Well, I don't know where he is, but Ricco, you can actually thank for me getting to do some streaming, because a year before the pandemic, Ricco texted me. He was like, hey, I just got Death Stranding. I'm gonna stream it. Like, you want to come over and play it with me? And I was like, streaming? Like what? What is this? Sure, whatever. So I went and played, and he's not here yet, so I can admit to you guys, Death Stranding sucks. But we were playing, and I was like excited, and just like he was like, oh, check this out in the game. Like he was so focused on the game, and I was like, cool. So tell me more about like this, like what's happening over here. And it just got I was super interested in it. And then I didn't have a computer at the time, so I didn't even think anything of it. And then when the pandemic happened, it had been in the back of my head, this idea of streaming. And so then, we didn't do any acting for 7 weeks. And I was like, well, let me try the streaming thing. So I fired it up, did some Smash Bros. Was, I think, the first or second thing I did. And I just kind of kept at it and still stream to this day. 3 nights a week, Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday nights at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. Oh, there he is. Where's Ricco?
Listen, if I could have been later, I would have been. The biggest prima donna of us all, Ricco Fajardo, will be here shortly.
Here, we're sharing a mic.
Oh, cool.
Well, welcome, Aaron, to our panel discussion. We had a little water accident, so we're giving Ricco the water spot.
Sweet. What?
He got really excited.
That sounds like him. Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Aaron, how's the con been for the last 2 days for you?
It's been great. I've stayed safe. I went for a jog yesterday morning on the streets of Stockton. And
he's safe.
yeah, I was safe. I was sizing everybody up as I was jogging to make sure that if I had to go at somebody like Ong Bak Thai Warrior and take out their knees first, I was prepared mentally. But yeah, it's been great. I love it. I love this con family is really special. It was really great. Not all conventions feel that way, but the people who run this are really awesome.
Yeah, Mike Miller, who's run this for the last 12 years, he really does try to make this a family atmosphere. For those that don't know, we brought a lot of the artists to the Hagen Museum last night for a dinner, and we're able to do that and actually just a little camaraderie, with the guests and the staff as well.
Yeah. Sweet.
So we're talking voice acting, obviously, and what advice would you give to budding voice actors?
Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it. I'm also here to tell you that you can't do it. It's a really rough industry. I would love for everyone to get a 4-year degree, to have a BFA in theater, and maybe $30,000 worth of student loan debt before you ever step in front of a microphone. But not everybody has to take that path. I think there are for sure. There are exceptions to the rules, meaning that you don't necessarily have to have classical training in order to be a voice actor. You can take, online classes from a lot of different people. It's always best, as far as I'm concerned, to take classes that are in person, and there are those classes available as well. And definitely, if you're thinking about taking those classes, make sure that you're going to be in front of someone. Like, never take classes from anyone and not necessarily whose career you would want or wouldn't want, but like make sure that you respect that person's body of work before you take classes from them. And then something else to consider is, like, if you're going to spend that much money, try to get in front of someone, in front of the ears and eyes of someone who can actually cast you in something. Instead of, like, before you drop $600 on a class, make sure that somebody actually knows what they're talking about and works in the industry. I would definitely, in terms of creating taking care of your instrument and learning how to use your instrument. That stuff is vital. If you're super young and you're not quite in college, your voice continues to develop in depth and range for your entire life if you treat it well and continue to do training and work on it. But normally, your voice is set by the time you're like 22, 25. So and of course all that can change, like I said, with like breath support exercises and a whole bunch of other stuff. But so anything that you can do growing up, like I was in choir forever. I was in choir because I grew up in church. So I was in choir forever, and then did musicals and a bunch of other things. So I had all of that whole skill set in my tool belt by the time I was ready to fall into a career in voice acting, because I've just been acting forever. But yeah, I mean, I guess at the spine of everything, I would say that be an actor first. This may be the worst time in history to get involved in dubbing of anime, just because of the way that things are cast now. No one is probably. I was talking to Jesse Greeley about this a few weeks back, because we were both around in like the heyday of Funimation, and they were like, no one's ever going to have the careers that we had because we were allowed to do so much work, and there weren't a whole lot of limits, like, season to season. If like you're a lead in a show, then you won't be considered for other supporting roles over the course of 3 months. So yeah, I guess another point of advice, like more so now than ever, diversify your bonds, man. Make sure that you have other ways to make a living. And have a job that allows you to either be an entrepreneur where you're working for yourself, or have a job where your boss thinks that anime is really cool and allows you to leave your job at any point in the day to go and work for an hour or 2 hours while you're building relationships so that you can eventually quit that job and do other things. Like everyone up here does other forms of performance and other forms of acting. Kyle's a great voice actor. He also does. He has a really large streaming and like online presence, and is a big gamer. Ricco as well, but Ricco also does on-camera theatrical television series, movies, commercial work. I think I saw your Damperid. Something about your BO. You got some stinky pits, right?
No, man. I did an OxyClean. I clean clothes. I do a lot of laundry.
Yeah. OxyClean commercial with stinky pits. That's what stood out to me, because the dryer has like.
Am I just stinky to you?
No, it's not. That's not what's happening. I'm just echoing what the washer or the dryer expressed. It's like, oh man, you got stinky pits.
That's a really good impression. You should have been cast as the dishwasher.
I'm the best, baby. I got range. Put me in, coach. Anyway, but so we all do. And also, like, thank you for being here, here because convention appearances is another spoke in our wheel of being able to make a living, and your appreciation helps us in the work that you love, and it's almost a direct effect of your attendance at these events and your support of us that we're able to continue doing the work that you love. So thank you.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
That's for real talk.
I'm gonna
I'm applying for you.
And of course, Ricco brought his guitar, and Aaron, you guys are going to do a song later, I think. I guess.
I got it.
I'm gonna get it out really.
I played the water bottle.
Oh, you play the water ball. Okay, yeah.
You have to quickly change key. Like,
I mean, Kyle, are you musically inclined?
Yeah, I grew up playing trumpet and the bass guitar, but I'm very rusty. I can sing. I can hold a tune though.
Okay, so we got the two singers on our right, Kyle and Aaron,
Play some
and then
chords.
do you know the saddest chord?
E minor.
D minor. D minor. See how sad?
We'll make it happy. Make it happy.
I mean, what's the happiest chord?
I think it's G. G's pretty celebratory. See? Good, very good pitch. That's nice.
Now, Ricco, we were talking last night about where you're headed off to after this one.
Oh, yeah.
And you're going to lose some theater children in Wisconsin.
Yes, hopefully not. I'm going to go teach at American Players Theater. I'm going to fly to Chicago. Not tonight. Tonight to Chicago. Drive to Spring Green, Wisconsin. Population, I think 1,400 now. And I did an apprenticeship actually back in 2011. Oh God, the years as they go. 2011, I was an apprentice there, and I did the journeymanship in 2012, which, if you guys, for any theater kids out there, it's really cool to have like a reliable job acting. Well, I guess as an actor, it's nice to have a reliable job. And so they work in rep there, meaning they do like a series of plays, like 3 or 4 plays that you work in. I was going to maybe be a Chicagoan actor, and they were asking me, did you want to be up here, like working in Chicago, in the woods of Wisconsin specifically? And that's when Brina Palencia, this is literally like 2011, when she was like, hey, there's a role for you at Funimation. Then, are we allowed to say the F word anymore? Can we say
Yeah,
Funimation?
dog forever.
Okay, Funimation.
Funimation.
Because it's Crunchyroll now. Sony comes in. I'm like, no, it just takes me away. But yeah, she was like, I have a role for you. It's like a named role, but it's not going to pay like your flight or anything to like go back and forth. But I was like, I think I'm going to do it. And that was the beginning of my like anime career, was taking a chance on that versus like, it's like in a video game where you have to choose one of the 2 paths, and it's like, you have to like make your choice. I wasn't running anywhere, but I did choose. I chose, to go back to acting in Dallas, and now I'm here with my comrades instead of in the woods doing theater. But I am teaching some kiddos who are very talented high schoolers. I love teaching acting; it's one of my favorite things. And yeah, I'm gonna teach them some Tai Chi Chuan, do some flips.
Nice.
So the students that you teach, is there a story that you remember that there was a kid that really took hold of what you told them and like. Poof.
Yeah,
there you go.
I do. And this one wasn't at American Players Theater. I was teaching at Richland College in Dallas. I was picking up for, there's a vacancy. And, when you're an actor, you kind of pick up any job. You're like ultimate freelancer. I can do all the things. So I was doing Romeo at the Park at Shakespeare Dallas, 2016. Who is the gentleman? Jay. Jeremiah is his name. He goes by Jay. Kind of taller, quieter. Black man, I'll say. He was still very young at the time, but like he's very like quiet and to himself. And we were doing Shakespeare, doing classical text, which is kind of hard for people to say Shakespeare. By the way, just so you guys know, you're not supposed to read Shakespeare. Shakespeare is meant to be said. The reason why it was written down so people could say the speech. Reading it is boring AF. But performing it and wielding the language, it's beautiful. One of my favorite things is taking classical text and giving it to someone who needs it, because there's so many stories in Shakespeare that are like, there's a reason why they keep being said. Anyway, long story short, too late. Jay, we were doing this monologue workshop, and it's an exercise I developed called My First Monologue. So it goes like this. I'd be like, okay, so Kyle, you're going to walk up, you're going to say, hello, my name is, insert name here.
Kyle.
Good. And then you would go, I'm going to tell you a story about, insert thing that you're passionate about or love in your life.
Boobs.
Okay, great. And so for 60 seconds, Kyle will talk about
Boobs.
And as that goes on, he will then finish at the end. And when he finishes, he'll say, thank you.
Thank you.
So yeah, you can intuit, I'm sure, what that story sounded like. But what was beautiful is Jay talked about, if I can, I don't really like to talk about folks' stuff, but in a nutshell, he talked about his younger brother who he had lost in a fire. And I was like, wow, that's really tragic. But he's like, I'm here because I want to be the first person to go to school. And it was at a community college I was teaching at, which I went to the community college. Very, very poor upbringing, second generation. I'm like, college is like, what is that? No, we don't do that. We work is what we do. Jay did this monologue, and I remember seeing a moment. There's this beautiful moment when people connect to a story, and he doesn't really have the language to like explain what he's feeling. I gave him from Caesar when he finds Caesar's body. Antony finds his body all riddled up, because literally that's what he found his brother at this moment in real life. And so I went, I'm not asking you to bleed on stage, like actually like let your stuff out. But if, say for instance, this water cup, it was actually a hoodie that I put down. I'm like, here, I would like for you to practice some Udo Hagen replacement, and I would just like for you, if you are willing, to replace this with an image or a memory of your brother. And the way that even his breath, he just went, and the way he connected to that water bottle or hoodie, it could stop this whole room, because everyone felt it the second he took that breath. And I'm like, let's go. And then he plugged in the speech. Holy cow. That guy was in the finest acting I've seen in a hair's breadth of him just bringing these spirits to the room. And mind you, we use our imagination all the time. You shouldn't just be like bringing up your therapy in class all the time. But that's why I was very cautious, because it's a powerful thing, acting. It's incredibly powerful. He proceeded to get into film, and now he is fully employed. He does a lot of tech work mostly. He does like set deck stuff, but for a lot of movies and stuff and television shows you guys might watch, like Yellowstone. He's on that. He's done a ton of stuff. But yeah, he messaged me every year or so. He's like, hey, Mr. Ricco. I'm like, just call me Ricco. Yeah, I know. But that's the thing. You can tell his age, right? Because he's like a bit younger. He's like, Mr. Ricco, thank you for. I'm like, please, Jay, just call me Ricco. But yeah, it makes me feel old. But also, yeah, it's sweet, man, because that was the beginning. In that moment, I'd like told him hands down, I'm like, you can do this, man. Kind of like, Sir Night I said to Miria, it's like, no, I see it. You could do this if you wanted to. Like, I feel it's hard, because now you have to do that 5 million times in a row. You have to keep bearing your heart constantly. That's the job as an actor, is to just keep being wounded like a shaman over and over and over and over again. But yeah, I think it was really noble to see someone young and brave take a chance like that. And so, yeah, and he's employed to this day. He's employed. That's the best part.
There are scientific studies that show that like for every 2-hour performance on stage is the equivalent of being in a minor car accident.
Yeah.
The trauma.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You're welcome. Sir! No, like,
So join the theater. You'll be just fine.
join the theater. You'll have a great time.
Aaron, do you have someone when you went to college that kind of was a mentor to you, that actually led you down the path that you've led?
No.
I knew you were gonna.
I was a lone wolf. It was what led me down my path was a 3-foot bong. No. Yeah. I had a couple different touchstones. I had some teachers that after, I don't know, because I didn't have a great freshman year, and I academically and behaviorally pulled my act together, and I had some teachers that like blackballed me out of some performances even after I got through with academic and some other form of probation. But I went through basically 2 semesters worth of probation where I couldn't be cast in anything. And then when I finally broke free of that, I was told by a visiting New York director that was coming in as a guest director for the program, and he's like, "Hey man, I'm sorry you're not available for casting this semester. I really wanted to cast you in the lead in the show." And I was like, "What do you mean I'm not available?" He's like, "Oh, so and so said that you're not available." And so at that point, I was like, "Okay, I'm not doing any other stage productions for this school. I'm going to do my own projects," and just started mounting my own shows in the basement of SMU. Yeah.
I was also on academic probation.
Just clowns.
Clownish.
Academia.
Clown behavior.
Clowns. Like they've never accomplished anything. Anyway, you should never there's people. I don't know. Whatever. It's fine. Everything's fine. No, I had a handful of people. We had an influx during my time there because we had so much turnover during my 4 years at Southern Methodist University, which I always feel it's important to tell people that I was there on scholarship because I grew up poor and everyone around me was rich and I didn't have any money, so they paid me a whole lot of money to to go to school there. Anyway, but I was there in a full ride, which was great. But there was an influx of Yale professors that came in, and there's a voice teacher that really helped me, Virginia Ness Ray, that was really influential. Michael Connolly, who is now retired, kind of pulled everything together. He taught Shakespeare, and it was like senior year acting. And I was always told that he was going to make it all, like everything that we had gone through, make it all make sense. And he absolutely did. And he directed me in a Harold Pinter show called Old Times, which is a really intense show. But anyway, there was Bill Langfelder was a movement professor who is also awesome, who taught me Tai Chi Chuan and Crane, Tiger, Mantis, and Monkey, as well as the
Dragon.
I guess Dragon, but we didn't learn the full form. We didn't learn the full motions.
He
of Dragon.
didn't teach you all the full form of
No,
Dragon?
I didn't learn the five finger fist death punch.
Oh, you did that? That's what you did earlier to me. I'm like, I got 2 steps left.
But he was really great. He was really great. I learned rapier and dagger from him, and broadsword and quarterstaff and a bunch of stuff. Lost a bunch of weight that year, and I could eat anything I wanted because I was working my butt off every single day. He was killing us. But
Best advice Bill ever gave to me was ain't nothing to it but to do it.
God. Well, you know what? Sure. That's great. Another bit of advice that, like, when he initially said it in class, I was like, come on, man. But years later, it made sense. But he was like, be bad. Give yourself permission to be bad. And I was like, great. Like, I guess, get on stage and take a risk and feel free to suck.
Yeah.
That was basically it, which has been most of my career. Yeah. I guess those are probably the big ones. I had a lot of professors that were kind of doo-doo. Clarence Gilliard was he was on Walker, Texas Ranger. He was in Die Hard and Top Gun. He was my first on-camera acting teacher. And like his advice to me, of course, was just like less. You're doing too much. Less. I wish that someone, when I was in college, because nobody knew this because those people hadn't really done a whole lot other than stage and write plays that no one was going to produce. I'm looking at you. You know who you are, Gretchen. That's right. I said your name. That's right. Anyway.
This affects me tremendously. I know you guys are.
Yeah. That's all. That's it. It helps one person. God, what was my point? I don't know.
On-camera acting.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. He said less.
Yeah, I wish somebody in my college career, like any professor, had said mostly like acting on camera. A large part of it, particularly if you're playing supporting parts in Texas, is just going to be you modeling while you say words. Like it's not like just do less. Just trust that you are cast for a reason and that you're enough. Yeah.
Well, we'll close it out there. Ricco, Kyle, Aaron, thank you for being up here this afternoon. Yes. Oh, but we have a song to close out.
You guys ready?
Is the Are we going to sing the closing song?
Yeah, closing song. This is improv. Yeah.
Blues Clues?
What?
One
No, this is a custom song for you guys, only written right now, kind of in the style of like, was it Give Me a Piece? Okay, no, here we go. Break the off piece. We'll go, thanks so much for coming to StocktonCon 2024 Summer Edition.
I don't know where to go with this, but I'm gonna look you right in the eyes.
That's good acting training. You got to hear about the way we went to school.
It's really hot out there. Find a pool.
Thank you, Kyle, for finding that rhyme. Aaron and I,
we're almost out of time.
That's right, yeah. Look at these improv skills these 3 dudes have.
It's important to learn improv to be the next Robin Williams.
Sure.
Sure, yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Let's give a hand to these guys.
I think
they are upstairs for the next hour.
We're only here till 4 o'clock, so come by.
And I'll be leaving now. It was nice seeing you guys. Yeah. Take care, y'all. Yeah, that was the fastest panel of all time. That was 30 minutes. That was a short hour. I wish this where you could applaud and then come back. All right, we got one more.
Yeah, we got encore. Encore, here we go.
Thanks again for hosting.